English podcast by Hakeem and Hamza.
This is Hakeem and Hamza podcast. Welcome back to a conversation that might make you question everything about how you spend your days.
Today's topic is deceptively simple: busyness. But we're not talking about productivity. We're talking about the performance of productivity.
How many times this week have you told someone, "Sorry, I'm just so busy"? And how many times was it actually true?
We live in a culture that has weaponized busyness. If you're not overwhelmed, you're not trying hard enough. If you have free time, you're lazy.
But here's what nobody wants to admit. Most people who claim to be busy are just badly organized or trapped in shallow, meaningless work.
That statement will offend some listeners. Good, let's talk about it.
Today's question is sharp. Are you actually busy? Or are you just addicted to feeling busy?
And more importantly, why do we wear busyness like a badge of honor?
Write in the comments, do you think hustle culture is toxic or necessary? Defend your position. We want sophisticated arguments, not emotional reactions.
All right, let's deconstruct this phenomenon from the ground up. So, Hakeem, when did "how are you" get replaced by "how busy are you"?
I think it's tied to late-stage capitalism's colonization of our identity. We've conflated our worth with our economic output.
Conflate, excellent verb. It means to combine two separate concepts incorrectly. People conflate being busy with being important.
Social media accelerated this. Now, we don't just work, we perform work. We post about our 5 a.m. wake-ups, our side hustles, our grind.
It's become performative busyness. Busyness as theater. Busyness as virtue signaling.
And the irony? Most of this hustle is utterly ineffective. People confuse motion with progress.
There's a great idiom for this: spinning your wheels. It means working hard but going nowhere, like a car stuck in mud.
Exactly. Or spreading yourself too thin, taking on so much that nothing gets done well.
But there's something darker underneath. I think many people stay busy to avoid confronting uncomfortable questions.
Such as?
Am I actually happy? Is this job meaningful? What am I sacrificing for this career?
So busyness becomes an anesthetic, a way to numb existential anxiety.
Precisely. And that's where burnout enters the picture.
Sarah, we'll need those reports by end of day. Also, can you cover the Singapore call at 3 a.m.? Jenkins is out sick.
Of course, no problem. If you say no, they'll think you're not committed. You're replaceable. Everyone here works these hours. I was working 70-hour weeks, not because the work required it, but because everyone else was. It was a competition of martyrdom. We'd have conversations that were basically one-upmanship about exhaustion. I only slept 3 hours. Oh yeah? I haven't taken a day off in 6 months.
Martyrdom, suffering or sacrifice to prove devotion to a cause. Here, it's suffering to prove devotion to work.
My manager would send emails at midnight and expect responses. I'd wake up at 2 a.m., heart racing, checking Slack. I was running on fumes, chronically exhausted, surviving on coffee and anxiety.
Running on fumes. An idiom meaning you have no energy left, but you're forcing yourself to continue. Like a car running on the last drops of gasoline.
Then one Thursday, I collapsed. Literally. Passed out at my desk. Woke up in the hospital. The doctor said, "Stress-induced cardiac event. Your body shut down because you wouldn't stop." And you know what my first thought was? How will I finish that presentation?
That's devastating.
That was my wake-up call. I realized I'd been barking up the wrong tree for years.
Barking up the wrong tree. Pursuing a mistaken or misguided course of action. She'd been chasing the wrong definition of success.
So I quit. Walked away from the 6-figure salary, the title, all of it. Best decision I ever made.
Sarah's story exposes something crucial. There's a difference between being busy and being effective.
Cal Newport's concept of shallow work versus deep work is relevant here.
Shallow work. Non-cognitively demanding tasks, emails, meetings, administrative busy work. It feels productive but creates minimal value.
Deep work, cognitively demanding tasks that create real value. Writing, strategic thinking, complex problem solving.
Most modern work cultures privilege shallow work, constant meetings, immediate Slack responses, the appearance of availability.
But deep work requires uninterrupted blocks of time, which our attention economy has systematically destroyed.
So people work 10-hour days and accomplish nothing of substance. They're busy, but not productive.
There's a passive construction worth noting. Value is created versus busyness is performed. The passive emphasizes the end result over the actor.
Right, value was created by working deeply for 3 focused hours versus I was busy for 10 hours.
And this is where intentionality matters. Are you choosing your work, or is your work choosing you?
Which brings us to Marco, someone who made a radical choice.
I watched my father work 60-hour weeks for 30 years. When he retired, he was too exhausted to enjoy it. That's not a life. That's servitude. So when I entered the workforce, I made a decision. I will work to live, not live to work.
How did you implement that?
Strict boundaries. I work 9 to 5. Not 8:59, not 5:01. When I leave, I'm unreachable. No email on my phone, no quick calls at 8 p.m.
But Marco, what about your career trajectory? What about climbing the ladder? You'll be seen as uncommitted.
And that's fine. I've been passed over for promotions. Colleagues with less talent but more hustle get ahead. I don't care. Because I've optimized for life quality, not career optics. I read 50 books last year. I'm fluent in 3 languages. I have deep friendships.
So you're productive, just not in the way capitalism measures it.
Exactly. I've rejected the premise that my value as a human is tied to my economic output. Hustle culture is a scam. It benefits corporations while destroying individuals. They've convinced us that exhaustion is virtue.
You're essentially opting out of the rat race.
Not opting out, choosing differently. There's a distinction.
Opt out versus choose differently. Subtle but important. The former suggests withdrawal. The latter suggests active selection of an alternative path.
I'm not lazy. I'm selective. I do exceptional work in my 40 hours because I'm rested, focused, and not resentful.
We need to acknowledge the structural forces at play here. This isn't just individual choice.
Right. Late-stage capitalism has created conditions where overwork is normalized and boundaries are transgressive.
Wages have stagnated while productivity has skyrocketed. People work more for less. Side hustles aren't ambition, they're survival.
And corporations have weaponized language. We're a family. No, you're an employer. Families don't lay you off during downturns.
The gig economy exacerbates this. No job security, so you must always be available, always hustling.
Notice the nominalization, the weaponization of language. Turning a verb into an abstract noun makes it sound more formal and analytical.
And social media creates the illusion that everyone else is out hustling you. You see their highlight reel, not their breakdowns.
So the question becomes, how do we resist this without sacrificing economic viability?
That's the painful part. For many people, especially in precarious positions, setting boundaries can mean losing their livelihood.
Which is why individual solutions, just work less, are insufficient. We need structural change.
Let's extract the sophisticated language from today's discussion. 1. Conflate. To combine 2 separate things incorrectly. Don't conflate correlation with causation. 2. Performative. Done for show rather than genuine purpose. His apology was performative, not sincere. 3. Spin your wheels. Work hard but make no progress. I've been spinning my wheels on this project for weeks. 4. Spread yourself thin. Take on too much. Overextend. She spread herself too thin with 5 projects simultaneously. 5. Running on fumes. Operating with no energy left. By Friday, I'm running on fumes. 6. Bark up the wrong tree. Pursue a misguided course. If you think complaining will help, you're barking up the wrong tree. 7. Martyrdom. Suffering to prove devotion. Corporate culture often rewards martyrdom over efficiency. 8. Shallow work versus deep work. Superficial tasks versus valuable cognitive work. Email is shallow work. Research is deep work. 9. Opt out. Choose not to participate. Many millennials are opting out of homeownership. 10. Late-stage capitalism. Mature capitalism with extreme inequalities. Late-stage capitalism prioritizes profit over people.
Using these phrases elevates your English to near-native sophistication.
Here's your challenge. Conduct a time audit this week.
Track every hour, then categorize deep work, shallow work, genuine rest, mindless distraction.
Be honest. How much of your busyness is actually productive?
Then ask, what would happen if I eliminated the bottom 20%? Would anything of value be lost?
My hypothesis. Most people waste 15 to 20 hours per week on activities that create zero value.
Busyness is not a virtue. Rest is not laziness. Your worth is not your productivity.
The system wants you exhausted and distracted. Resistance means reclaiming your time and attention.
What legacy do you want? They worked 80 hours a week, or they lived fully.
Write your reflections. Challenge our arguments. This conversation requires nuance.
Question everything, including this.